don't want to change your mind about the water, do you?
No, thank you.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Now, if something doesn't go too well in the film, you know, if I don't know an answer or something, I fumble looking it up. Do you cut some things out?
Oh, I edit lots.
You edit, okay.
Yep. I'm not in any way trying to make people look stupid, you know, or trying to get you to cry on camera, anything like that.
Are we prepared to accept that this is the opening salvo of a year-long effort to remove Jay Rossi from the school district?
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
Jan?
Yeah, I would like to address that. If it has to be, yes, but let's try and get rid of it right now, this
Right.
June.
Yeah.
I think that's crucially important. I started with this in 1994. So it's not as though this is something new. And since then, they have had 12 years of junior ROTC. Junior ROTC is something that I've been concerned about since it first came into the first Rochester High School, which was John Marshall High School in 1994. And I was really alarmed that they were bringing this military indoctrination / recruitment program into the schools, and immediately started talking to the school board about it and expressing my belief that it should be ended quickly. And instead of ending it, in the subsequent 2 years, they introduced it into 2 more high schools, that being Edison and East.
Miss or Mrs. Janet Bezila?
Good evening. I was sorry to have to miss the last school board meeting. I was out of town, but I did want to comment on junior ROTC, and particularly what I feel are some misstatements and disconnects made regarding junior ROTC. The first of these is that junior ROTC is not a Department of Defense program. I believe this was said by one of your commissioners. It is only funded by the Department of Defense. I'd just like to read a little bit of an excerpt by a retired Rear Admiral who is Deputy Director at the time he wrote this of the Center for Defense Information. His name is Eugene J. Carroll, Jr. And he says it is appalling that the Pentagon is selling a military training program as a remedy for intractable social and economic problems in inner cities. Surely its real motive is to inculcate a positive attitude toward military service at a very early age, thus creating a storehouse of potential recruits. This is a retired Rear Admiral.
For you personally, is there anything that the JROTC program could do that would allay your fears about their mission?
It is not a reformable program. It is a military program that is targeting our youth. It was introduced, first of all, it was begun in, it was first passed by Congress in 1916, and as opposed to what one of our school board members says, I've argued this point with Willa Powell, who says that actually Truman brought it in, and she says this to show that this program, rather than targeting minority students in a negative way, she says was begun to integrate the military. Under Truman, this is not the fact. The fact is it was passed in 1916 and it became operative in 1919. And then in 1992, it was greatly expanded.
This is, I'm sorry, this is ROTC or this is JR?
This is junior ROTC.
So that goes all the way back to
Yes, to
Oh.
1916.
Oh.
Yes, and as I said, operative in 1919.
I
Yes.
see, okay.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
And in 1992, it was more than doubled the number of units nationwide. And then the program really moved into the Northeast. Prior to that, it had been mostly in the South and the West, or Midwest, possibly. But it moved into the Northeast, and the reason that it expanded so in 1992 was that the military had noted that the intent to enlist, as I believe they termed it, on the part of particularly young black students was way down. And this was the result of probably the result of the fact that people enlisted in the military were becoming, again, more involved in major conflicts. And so there was a reluctance on the part of the young blacks to enlist. And this alarmed the military, so they decided that expansion was the answer. Another part of this comes from the Department of the Army, Army Cadet Command in Virginia, and they talk about junior ROTC as its function to actively assist cadets who want to enlist in the military, to facilitate recruiter access to cadets in junior ROTC programs, and to the entire student body, to work closely with high school guidance counselors to sell the Army story. Again, I think that's kind of speaks for itself. The city school districts all have 70% or higher. In fact, when it came in, they had 70%. Now it may be more of a minority student population. And this has been quite typical in the places nationwide that they have started the junior ROTC programs. And obviously the suburban schools who are so up on trends and have money available, if they saw something positive here, they would be bringing it into their schools. 3 quick points. If there's an effort to get the names of students or the support of students who are against it, I would say also trying the teachers. Now, I remember at East High School, the band teacher, who I guess was the music teacher too, I'm not sure if they had 2 separate ones, but she was the band teacher. She was very resentful of the money that junior ROTC got. The band did not get uniforms, and they did not get the space they needed. She was very resentful. So, and at Marshall, we had talked to 2 teachers, one being Howard Eagle, one Nancy, if anybody remembers her name, an Italian last name, and they were very much they were advocates of the black students, and although the woman was white, they were both completely thought the junior ROTC program was not the way to go, and they were very much against the fact that these students pranced around in their outfits.
Some of what the board commissioners were saying to me about the position of those opposed to JROTC was that they, meaning the opposition,
We,
right,
yeah, people like us.
comes in proselytizing, is sort of sanctimonious in some respects and disrespectful of the independent choice that these students are making.
I believe when we talk about choice, we always better say what these choices are. Are these life or death choices? And the military, if not a death choice for the person who goes in, it's a death choice for someone that he's targeting, he or she is targeting. And choice has become a magic word, and we all want choice, but let's always say what the choices are.